What if the government encouraged death as the ultimate solution to all of our problems? Now, that sounds like a twisted satirical film series I would be known for, but think about this. What is more dangerous? A government that avoids solving problems, plays it safe, or one that sees us as the problem? Here's what I'm thinking. Politicians and corporations fixate on youth, birth, and workers. So if you're old, cannot work or reproduce, then what good are you? Which, of course, brings up the pro-life issue and pro-life politicians. If these politicians were truly pro-life, they would value all lives from birth until death, right? But the reality is they're really pro-birth. But look at it this way. Pro-life is irresistible to politicians. It keeps us fighting between ourselves and distracts us from the real issues, like universal access to healthcare, inflation, and politicians looking out for themselves instead of us. For example, if they were truly pro-life, not simply pro-birth, they would fully fund Medicare. But the dirty little secret is, it's easy to pass a law, but did they provide funding for it? Laws providing assistance do not matter if they are never funded. Medicare is underfunded. And if they were really pro-life, they would spend money on access to health care for all Americans, not just members of Congress. All Americans not covered by Medicare. Now, they have plenty of money for invading countries and giving themselves the best salaries and benefits, but politicians cannot find money for helping the rest of us live healthy lives. Now, unlike other modern societies, we have a profit-driven health insurance industry. Look at it this way. They need to pay their CEOs millions of dollars every year. So they need to cut costs and expensive treatments because life is so overrated. Now, is it a coincidence that politicians who oppose affordable health care insurance take millions of dollars from the health insurance industry? I can see a day where the government partners with profit-driven insurance companies. You know, insurance companies provide wellness incentives. Will they soon offer sickness incentives and incentives for an early departure? You know, in the movie Logan's Run, they fixated on youth. And how did they deal with the older people? Once you reach a certain age, you went to the bug zapper. You know, and what about the movie Soylent Green? What did they do? Well, they turned people into crackers. So, if you've got some politicians, and there are many of them, who think government should run like a business, what they're really saying is run like a profit-driven insurance company, and we know how that works, and how the government then needs to cut out costs too. Perhaps they could phase out Medicare and bankrupt seniors with higher premiums that are paid to health insurance companies, you know, the job creators. Then, if they can no longer afford health care, government-assisted death clinics will become the ultimate solution to all of our nation's problems. A going home early playlist sounds like a great idea. Welcome to Dystopia.